Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion slowly redeems himself playing Kerbal Space Program. Not a good start when you say redeems himself wrong when you're trying to redeem yourself. But hey, check it out. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh my god, our launch pad has been upgraded. We can now, well, I'm not going to go to the launch pad right away, but if we look at our, stats, we can have a max vessel weight of 140 tons. It's like 9 times greater than what we could have before. So I think we should be easily able to make a 3-stage rocket at this point. And beyond that, I'm also going to do something. This is all a result of your tips, by the way. We're going to cancel this focused observational study. Take my money, take my reputation. I don't care. Orbit Kerbin, I'm definitely going to do. But I was talking to Quill18. He's a genius. Dude has like an actual engineering degree or something. You know, okay, I might be slandering him at this point. It's computer science probably, but I don't know. Either way, he's an analytical and intelligent person, and he said, I just ignore the spaceplane stuff. Like, are you crazy? Why would you ever do the spaceplane stuff first? Okay, good point. Okay, so we're going to ignore that for now and just focus on going mostly straight up and then around, as opposed to going you know, from one destination to another. And I recognize, yeah, okay, most planes probably don't fly by going straight up, ejecting their engines, and then pivoting and firing. But anyway, we're going to go for this test Juno basic engine in flight over Kerbin. We're going to test the Terrier in orbit over Kerbin. Gives us a little bit of money right off the bat. And beyond that, apparently you get the ability to test. When you take a test contract, you also unlock that part, which is news to me. But anyway, let's go to our vehicle assembly building, and we're gonna, you know, start with a name for once. We're gonna call this one like, we can't type into this thing yet. You know, we gotta put something on it first. There you go. How do you feel about that? This is all my hopes and dreams. No pressure. Another thing people told me is you don't need a heat shield right off the bat. The basic capsule is designed to have a little bit of heat shielding in it right off the bat, which I did not know. But now that we have a much larger weight limit, I think we can actually, we've fixed that problem regardless, I think. So we're going to start, and this is the orbit episode. I've learned a little bit about the nav ball thanks to you. Thanks for the support while I was away, by the way, in spite of the fact that most of the episodes ended with our Kerbins all dying. I appreciate the support nonetheless, without a doubt. So let's focus on like the positive stuff that we learned. For one, we learned that the heat shield has been good for us at keeping us safe during re-entry, which is important. Even if not necessary, still valuable, I think. We also learned to pay attention to our staging for once. So we're going to do that. We also learned that fins go on the back of a rocket, not the front of a rocket. Hey, who would have thought? Everyone said, hey, NL, have you ever seen a dart before in your life? And I thought to myself, they're not talking about a Canadian slang for a cigarette, are they? Okay, so this is all my hopes and dreams. We're going to make it pretty simple. It's going to be a 3-stage rocket. Stage, where's the... Terrier is the one that they want us to test in orbit. So this should be our final stage. So we'll just put this over here for now, and we'll put some... fairly substantial fuel tanks here. Probably don't need a ton, but I mean, better safe than sorry, unless the fuel causes us to burn up, right? So, there you go. That's going to be stage... We don't need that much fuel, probably. But okay, let's go with it. That's going to be stage 3. And then, we're going to put a decoupler here. And I'm just making sure my staging is right as we go. So, okay, you're going to... Okay, good. That was a scientific way of getting across what I was trying to do there. I think, honestly, stage 2 could probably be, like, roughly the same thing. We could spread it out as well as... Yeah, you know what? Let's do that. This seems better to me, to spread it out into, like, some bilateral symmetry. Now that we don't have the weight limit to worry about. So stage 2 is also, let's do even trilateral symmetry here. Stage 2 is also going to be liquid fuel engines, because they are, well, we need the decouplers as well. Sorry, it has been a week here. There we go. Is also going to be fuel tanks, just so we have a little bit more control, because we want to do a little bit more of a controlled burn on the way up once we get to phase 2. We don't want to just use all of our fuel like solid fuel boosters. So we'll just go... I mean, that's 600 fuel right there. I think that's probably enough. We can always test it as we go. I think we're on the right track now, is my idea at least. So we're going to put some aerodynamic nose cones on these. And then we're going to throw decouplers at the bottom, which are here. And one day I will learn that. And then I think below that, we might be able to make do with just a few thumpers. So it's going to be thumpers, decouple. Wait, decouple. No, you don't decouple that then. What have I done? All of our phases of this. So you're going to fire these. You're going to decouple those. Yeah, that's right. You're going to fire these engines. Nope. No. That's not right. You know what the problem is? We didn't put any engines under these ones. No wonder the game's getting confused. So we'll put some swivels under there. Then the decoupler. And everything's going to come into focus here. All right, okay. This rocket is very large. That frightens me a little bit. There's no connection between these. That also frightens me. Can we do anything there structurally? We don't have struts yet. So I don't know if, like, these girders are going to do what I need them to do, but we can just toss them there for fun, I suppose. You guys should not walk that close to this thing. If it tips over, we're all going down. All right. Fire these. Decouple. These engines fire. Then this engine fires. No, that's not right. You see, these decouplers have to come down here. Be more like... okay, let's try this again. These fire. Decouple. These fire. Decouple. This fires. I think this will work, even if it looks a little like the worst thing in human history. So we have a parachute, we got aerodynamic nose cones. Last thing I think we need for at least a test here is basic fins. What's the weight on this thing? 40 tons. That's a lot. Wait, do we have too many parts? Okay. Well, these things are gonna go then. And I mean, we could have 2 fins. The problem is I also want to put science on this thing so we can get more science points and advance up the tech tree. But obviously we're overthinking this here. Because you don't need... I mean, the weight is way less of a problem than it used to be. Parts still at 26 here. Alright, okay. It's a minor problem. It's a minor problem. We're going to go with bilateral symmetry instead. That's going to really cut this down. In the number of parts that is, and well, first off, the radial decouplers have got to come off as well, and then we'll put those on bilateral symmetry. It might seem like it's going badly right now. This is just the standard trial and error. This isn't like... We're not launching, like, the worst designed rockets in human history again, is the idea, at least. So give me, I mean, we might need a little bit more than that. What's the part set up at 14 out of 30? And we definitely still want engines, so this will be 16 out of 30. And then we can put swivels here, that's fine. This is 18 out of 30. And then decouplers. 20 out of 30. Solid fuel boosters. 22 out of 30. You need the aerodynamic cones. I still feel like we might need a little bit more thrust on this, but it feels like it's going better now. So these are going to launch. Remember, we got way less thrust as a result of this. So you got these decouple. These engines fire. Decouple. This engine fires. All right. And we're at 24 with a 30-ton rocket. Last thing, we do want some basic fins. How many? We can only put 6 parts. Okay. That's fine. 6 is all we need, baby. So obviously this looks horrendous. I also can't help but notice that, you know, the engine is, like, underground. We're gonna save this and see how it works, if it makes it to the launch pad. How you doing here? Now, we didn't put any science on this thing. That's okay by me. So I'm going to give you a rundown of how we're going to do this, Valentina. This thing's going to give you a lot of when you come up to the top here. We're We're going to engage in the gravity turn, but later than we did before. And probably after we finish phase 1. And then I've learned that on the map, I've been told the nav ball I should say, the green marker with things coming out of it is the prograde marker. It's the direction in which you're traveling. That's important because we want to point near the prograde marker when we do our final burn near apoapsis to try to get to orbit. Otherwise, we're wasting fuel pushing us in a different direction that's not 100% on the vector 3 that we want to go for. So I respect you. SAS is on. Throttle up to full for now. Let's go. Yeah, that looks normal. I didn't even check the staging, but it looks right to me right now. So these things are gonna last, dude. Sure, it's taken us a while to get off the launch pad here, but the SAS is holding. And the fact that we've got a 3-stage rocket just gives us so much more hurting power once we get up here. We're not even halfway through our first stage yet. Not the most stable thing, but again, we don't have struts yet. We should try to move the staging, I guess, so that, you know, they're concurrent with one another, you know what I mean? So one press activates the engine. I've made a horrible mistake here. Why are there 3 engines attached? Okay, slow down. Slow way down. And we're going to be breaking through the atmosphere soon. But I still want to try to do the gravity turn. Even if we are a little on the late side. How's the apoapsis looking? People also told me the apoapsis that we had set up for was like way too low. 39,000. Okay, so we definitely want to like keep accelerating. We got a decent amount of fuel. Our heading is like almost right. Almost correct, I should say. 46,000. So we might shoot for like an 80 or even 90,000 or even, you know, 6-figure apoapsis here. We're just trying to do so in such a way that conserves a little bit of fuel because we are going to want to burn roughly along the prograde marker here, if I'm correct. And again, this is still, you know, to a fairly large degree, trial and error. For me, but it's better trial and error. 70,000. So we're gonna not have very much fuel for our final stage, which is like exactly the problem we've always had. We can slow down that burn a little bit because we're in space. So you know what? Let's go for 90,000. Cut the engine. So the next thing we're going to want to do is wait till we get to 90,000, roughly, and then we're going to accelerate exactly along the prograde marker. Or, well, similar to being along the prograde marker, except just slightly over the horizon, basically. So we still have about 14,000 meters to go. If we can get to orbit, like a stable-ish orbit, if we can make it one turn around Kerbal, I would be so happy. And then save enough fuel to like burn along the retrograde marker and get us back is really the big deal here. So I'm pointing in like exactly the direction that we're traveling, but we want to wait on, we want to be like just slightly above the horizon, which is more like here. So our second stage is not going to be enough fuel-wise, but I think our third stage might be. So we're at 90,606 meters. We're just going to go for it. Hit that max burn right now. Just wait till those things are out of the range of our engines. And then hit it, dude. We got a lot of fuel left. I think we're going to be fine. Although it's accelerating like very slowly. Or the circle is not getting larger as fast as I would like it to be. Is it because this engine is not that good? Like, I don't know. I'm losing some confidence here. Perhaps we're not as... Like, perhaps we should be closer to the horizon is basically what I'm getting at. I mean, it is extending. It's just not extending as much. I should have looked at, like, the thrust-to-weight ratio or something of this engine. The main reason we took this engine was because it's going to allow us to possibly complete our objective, like our mission. I don't know, though. Like, it's probably like 80% of the way to orbit at this point. Like, it's getting around there. It's getting around there. We got enough fuel. We're totally gonna at least almost have it be a success. If not actually be a success. So we want periapsis to be at like 70,000 so we don't degrade, maybe. I think you're only supposed to have it at like 30,000 so you don't degrade, but dude, check it out. First off, mission's accomplished. Secondly, we still got some fuel, so you know what? Crank up the speed here, dude. So apparently you can also right-click and do a crew report. We can do reaction wheels. I don't know what that means. Obviously, we should have had science on here as well, but... full crew control. I don't know, that scares me. Yeah, of course, cannot do science. We're all very familiar with that. We're flying around the Earth here. We're flying around Kerbin, I should say. This is very nice. We have, like, a stable orbit. Maybe I'm going too fast to do a crew report? I was going too fast. Crew report. It seems we are very much in space. The sky seems to be below us. Keep experiment. Sick. Get out of here. Okay, well, I mean, we made it. We still have fuel. So if I understand correctly, what we should try to do now, if we want to get back to Kerbin, is probably wait until we hit the lowest possible point, which is periapsis, and then burn along the retrograde marker, which should slow us down. Alternatively, we could possibly just accelerate, you know, towards the surface of Kerbin, which seems also applicable, but, you know, I'm not in the business of making enemies at this point. So I believe this is our prograde marker. Or sorry, well, yeah, no. Sorry, I believe this is our retrograde marker, which is the exact opposite of the direction that we're traveling right now. So I'm just gonna... Well, I mean, to be real with you, we're halfway between periapsis and apoapsis, so this is probably the wrong time to do this. So just in the interest of not being a risk taker right now, because there's no point for me to try to create any more negative feelings about my situation than we've already done, let's wait till we cross apoapsis and then find ourselves like down here, and then we'll burn along the retrograde marker, which we are not even close to right now, because we're kind of tumbling end over end. Okay, take the speed down. Thank you. We're gonna find the retrograde marker again. Turn on RCS there, which I'm hoping is not the prograde marker. We're gonna make sure we're pointing down towards the planet, roughly along the same axis, and then I think straight up, like, what's our periapsis? 70,000. I'm just gonna hit like full burn right now. And we're gonna watch periapsis hopefully drift further and further until it gets to the Earth's actual, or Kerbin's actual atmosphere. And I'm just gonna use like all of our fuel so that we're not using this fuel Or so that we don't have to worry about this fuel when we come through the atmosphere, in which case it could light on fire or something. I mean, so far it seems like it's all working right now. I'm just being honest with you. We're about to run out of fuel. This engine totally nailed it for us. Like, it was more of a slow and steady wins the race sort of deal than what we'd normally been accustomed to, but, like, no doubt it got the job done. So we're almost out of fuel. I don't really care about where I land. Probably we should try to not come in at such an angle. Such a straight angle, that is, but whatever. It is what it is. Even if everybody dies, we will have completed the mission. So we should detach and then start to orient this thing straight up. We got the heat shield combined with the heat shield. Ooh. Combined with the heat shielding effects of the basic capsule. I think we're headed back. This will be like a colossal success of a mission if it ends up working out. So we, like, do not pop. Well, you know what? Just trigger the parachute so it's ready to pop. Assuming it hasn't been destroyed. There it goes. And apparently you're not supposed to go to speed 4 because it multiplies the physics on the way down, but I don't know if that might just be an anecdotal approach that I was given. So, or the anecdotal piece of evidence that I was given. So we should be slowing down like crazy soon, right? Like, this parachute, oh, it's expanded, thank God. There we go. Just like stop before impact. Seems like the smartest possible play. Dude, this is a big milestone for the bros space agency, which accent keeps changing, bro, at an alarming rate, like a postal service song. He's done it. Recover vessel. Okay, we got 15 science. So we're at 57. That's enough for a tech tree upgrade. 452 funds recovered. Not a ton. 1 experience gained, and she's advanced to level 1. Sick. Okay, so let's go quickly. Mission control. Oh, okay, so we weren't at the proper altitude. In fact, we had to be, like, way, way, way higher up. But that's fine. We got plenty of time to test this. We should take another contract, like, test the Hammer solid fuel booster on a sub-orbital trajectory. From 170,000 to 180,000 meters. Dude, I don't know. I don't want to have solid fuel boosters in space. That seems dangerous to me to get them up there in the first place. At 170,000 meters to 180,000 meters on a suborbital trajectory. So that's like actually, you want us to use these to go straight up. And then straight down. I don't know, I think we should just take the swivel, which we were kind of already on pace for. And then roll these 2 ones simultaneously. And then we'll go to research and development quickly. Advanced rocketry, general construction, aviation, flight control, or basic science. Basic science gives you, okay, so more science stuff. That makes a lot of sense. Flight control, we don't care, because we don't care about aviation that much right now. General construction gives us struts, which honestly are like 10 out of 10 for me. Oh, stability enhancers. Those things exist? Struts seem extremely important to me. And then more engines and better fuel tanks, also important. But let's go general construction to start. Sick. And that's going to do it for this episode. A little bit on the shorter side, but way, way, way more successful. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. It helps out a great deal. And, of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. But for now, thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. And I'll see you next time.